the ghost of us. Naming my mouth cuts too much. Half a thought and it folds in two, like a bruise leaves a mark on you. Don't hurt in my shaking hand. Know something I don't understand. Like ghosting at the edge of me. Something there that I just can't see. You hear that too? Or is it just me? Downside out, downside out. I need to go where I don't belong. Downside out, downside out. I need to go.
Check.
Where it feels so
Nice.
It's the same sad song, empty space that was here all along. Every step is a borrowed shape, every second a vain escape. Laughter crying out for sin, summer stealing the autumn wind.
All right.
There's a face
Check.
that I almost know
Check.
through a window where I won't go.
All right.
If you're there, don't let me see. Downside out, downside out. I need to go where I don't belong. Downside out, downside out. I need to go where it feels so
Okay, we're almost there.
And the things I do in my hands and the way I speak, and the cracks when I try to sleep. And you sit like you always did, never answer, just not.
All right, let's just get started. Let me jump right in. Hi, chat room. Welcome to the show. It's Al Sparks, Mega Worldwide, the morning show. Good to see you. I hope you had a good 4th of July. We had a pretty decent one around here. We got to drive around under the Vegas fireworks on the Strip, and then because if you drive down the Strip, it's it's like a Disney war zone. It's very weird. It's just very bright and lots of whatever. And then on the drive back home, you kind of weave through the local streets as the maniacs in the gated communities all play like, I don't know, John Gotti and have their own fireworks set up going off. I think largely just to torture their neighbor's dog who barks too much. That's my theory. Yes, we are live on Patreon, so you can watch from the Patreon if you want. If you just want to avoid the riffraff, I guess, and whatever you're on. But it's pretty cool. That's available now, so I made it available as a thing, and so you guys talk amongst yourselves, and that's a lovely thing, and we can have a separate chat or something. There is, we're not on Instagram because there was a hitch in my get-along, so I'll repost the show later on that one. It's a pain in the tuchus. It's just a thing that happens. So we're not on Instagram right now, but we're everywhere else, and that's what matters. Almost quite literally. I think we're on Kick now. Is the Kick working? Is it kicking? Do we know? Let's see. I'm going to look at all these things. Yeah. Rumble's being a jerk, but okay. Kick says it's unable to connect. Is Facebook up? Is Facebook okay? Do we see Facebook on there? It is? Okay. Because it's oh, there it is. It says it's unable to send data or something like that, which is a lie. It's a terrible, terrible lie. Patreon's doing just fine, though. Man, it's just hitting on. That's good news. And then the embed on halsparks.com. You can always go there. That's good. Yes, I'm streaming straight to the reflecting pool. I think I'm the break. Whenever you see those Trump Epstein things, it says live stream has that. Yeah, it had to. Live stream was just on vertical what? I don't know what that is. Okay. Yeah, just curious. But the YouTube vertical is being a jerk, maybe. Maybe that's what it was. No, it's okay. Seems all right. That's up and running. So that's interesting. It's just Instagram is down this morning because it's being a big jerk. Hit the like and share the show. Subscribe, maybe, is a good idea. Thank you so much, Lisa Mia Moore. Outlive Trump, No Kings, House Sparks 2028. Thank you very much. I appreciate that greatly. Let me see if I can break that to come up. There it is. Thank you so much. And then, of course, Baltanos wants us to pull his finger. I don't know which direction. You might want to clarify, maybe mail out a set of instructions. And then Bonnie Balcombe says, when's the acoustic album coming? That's a good question. I already have one. Steel String and Bone has been out for a while. It's a 0-1 record where I did acoustic versions of some of the songs from that record. So there's that. Steel String and Bone, if you want to check that out. That's good. But thank you. And I'll make more of those. I want to do them live, though. If I was going to do an acoustic version, I would just kind of sit and chat saying it's down, and I'm not saying on the vertical version of horizontal. I was just there. It's fine, too. Okay. It's very strange. We won't worry about it since most people hate the vertical anyways, and yet it's still up and running on its own. Yeah, Facebook's getting a weird thing about unable to connect. I hate talking about streaming while streaming, so you'll have to beg my pardon while I get to it. Now, we got a lot to cover this morning. By my lonesome, Trump got to ringy-dingy the bell at his little gathering this morning. I don't know if you checked this out at all, but they launched the Trump accounts again for like the 5th time, which is just, again, government money and donor money as a way of fluffing the stock market even more. And this is here's a great description of how Trump telling everybody how well he and Ted Cruz get along.
We thank you, and the press has been very kind about this. This is one they have a hard time attacking. You know, we're all in this together. You have children.
Oh, this is the part where he says he talks about they have children, they care about their children.
Those children already, they have their accounts. We're going to see tremendous money come in from wealthy people and pretty wealthy people and very wealthy companies. And that can happen with other people. Maybe not to that extent. Maybe there could be a few.
Why did that jump? That was weird.
Wait. And
hold on. I want to get to the part where he's talking about Ted Cruz.
For the next generation to have a feeling that they...
sorry. What a weird thing from the White House. What? Okay, yeah. So there's his thing. And then he goes to answer questions. And they got little kids there.
It's not our main sport, to put it mildly. And this has been 4 times more successful. He told me last night the numbers are 4 times greater. They think 50 or 60 million people are going to be watching the game tonight. I mean, you know, this is getting to be Super Bowl numbers. But you have a game tonight, and they think they're projecting a minimum of 50 million people watching a game. We call it soccer. It's called football, I guess, but we can't really call it football because it gets there's a little confusion. So yeah.
Is there?
You call it soccer. We're the only ones that do that, but we have football. And football's great. But I've never seen anything like it. So I saw the play. And
this is him trying to undo the red card.
A person that loves sports and was a good athlete.
Sorry. Yeah.
And I understand sports really well.
Do you? Probably better than the sports people.
Really well.
Oh, yeah. Super well.
And that wasn't a foul. That wasn't even an infraction. That was 2 guys running full speed that happened to crash into each other. You can't take your foot and properly place it on somebody else's foot when you're going, no, these were 2 great athletes that got tangled up. And this referee, who...
Probably a liberal.
Is a little bit suspect. If you check his past, I don't want to say that because I don't like to create controversy, but very suspect.
Oh boy!
If you'd like, I'll provide you with the past. He made a call that nobody could believe. You know, even people on the other side, they said, "Oh, we got lucky. Wow, that's." And it's very interesting. They say
All right. Anyways, he does the sports.
what he
Hold on.
Look at the Trump
material, nuclear dust, I call it, seems to have
Hold on. We'll back.
talking about it, and I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it ended. It's been a terrible situation. Think of this: 25,000 people 2 months ago. 25,000 people were
Nice. That's a Ukraine.
killed.
We're just needle dropping right now.
1 month soldiers. Last
1 month soldiers.
month set the record. 36,000 people were killed in 1 month. Young soldiers. They go off to war and they're dead before the first weekends. It's
You sure it wasn't guys that were there for a while?
drone technology. Michael, who would have thought that drones would have become such a factor? And they're killing machines. It's amazing. It's amazing. You hide behind
That's what I would call it. Amazing.
a tree and it goes and gets you.
It does. It goes and gets you.
And I've seen scenes that I don't want to see. I don't want you to see them on that battlefield. You know, you hear about the Civil War. You hear about all of these different
You do hear about them.
terrible wars, but this is really horrible. So I had a very good call, and I think we're getting close to getting it done.
No, you're not.
Mr. President, on the economy, there's been a refocus, it seems, in June to talk about your economic policies. When do you think that message will change the perception of Americans related to the economy?
Well, I think people know. Look, oil is now at a level that it was, I think it's even lower on a barrel basis than it was before we started. We've got
You do realize this is not a thing you have to think. You can either see it or not.
gotten concessions. Now, they have to hold those concessions, but there'll be no nuclear weapon. We're going to be getting the, as I call it, dust, the enriched material, nuclear dust, I call it.
Right, because you're stupid. You mean the depleted, the uranium, the enriched uranium? I almost said depleted uranium, but that's the kind of bullets we use on the battlefield.
Seems to have taken off, but it's enriched material. We're getting it. We're getting it. I went in for one reason, very strongly, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I'm not looking for regime change, although this is regime change. The first regime is gone.
No, it isn't. If it's the same structure, it doesn't matter who fucking runs it.
The second regime
It's not like the United States.
is gone. And I think the third regime is more reasonable, but we'll find out. But we've just
He's doing the Greg Kelly tongue jet.
third regime is more reasonable, but we'll find out. But we've destroyed their, as you know, completely destroyed 150. They had 159 ships. Every single ship is at the bottom of the sea. We've completely destroyed. They don't have one airplane. They don't have radar. You know, one of the reasons we kept the oil down,
They don't have radar. How are they hitting? Never
because a
mind.
lot of people said, Kevin, and a lot of people were saying that oil could go to $300, $350 a barrel, but
No, they didn't. They were talking about 150 to 200 if it kept going, which is why you stopped it.
one of the reasons that prediction wasn't right is we were taking out on average of 10, but sometimes less, sometimes more. 3 weeks ago, we had a night, 22 ships came out of the Strait, and the famous Strait of Hormuz, nobody ever heard of, but that is some big money machine, I'll tell you what, when you look at
Yeah, buddy. Money. You know about money machines, right? Michael Dell of Dell Computers, who I just gave a giant contract to while my sons purchased a lot of stock in, right? Talk about a money machine, huh?
the numbers, Michael, that makes everything look small. No, wait. And we took out so much oil that people didn't know, and it took a month and a half. They finally found out they had no radar because their radar was destroyed. So we took them out late at night with no lights, with no nothing, and our great
With no nothing. They're not even engines on. They were rowing.
Navy, which did the greatest blockade anyone's ever seen. Not one ship got through in 2 months.
Yes, the greatest blockade of civilian ships.
And we then freed up the blockade because we're close to maybe making a deal. I don't know. We'll make either. Look, we're going to win one way or the other. We're either going to make a deal or we're going to finish the job.
Yeah, we're not going to make a deal. Just for the record. And I think the big moment for him was in the middle of Bessent was making remarks, and then he went a little long, and Trump was standing by the kids over here, scaring them to death. And in the middle of his
generation
remarks,
with the right
somebody went, "Hey, it's already 9:00. You have to ring the bell."
to claim their rightful share of it. Through Trump accounts, our president is creating an ownership economy of American families do not have any.
Oh yeah, this was my favorite.
Shareholders-
This was my favorite part of the Bessent remarks before the bell ringing. So he goes, "These folks, 30% or whatever, don't have any stocks," and he goes, "Listen to how he describes it. He doesn't say that they have equity in the markets or that they have an investment in the economy through the stock market." Watch how he words it.
38% of American families do not have any exposure to our great equity market.
Did you hear that? Investment? No. Exposure.
Of American families do not have any exposure to our great equity markets, but with Trump accounts
You know why they call it exposure? Because you can lose that money too.
over time, we can get that number to zero. Already, 6 million American children have signed up. 86% of them with families earning less than $200,000. U.S. Treasury, 1.4 million of those.
Is Nutlick there with Trump and Nutlick there? This is like a reunion at the island with all those kids present.
Accounts will receive $1,000 from the U.S. Treasury to seed the accounts.
Okay,
Accounts
then-
will benefit
hold on.
when the
Yeah,
markets open in just a few minutes. Oh, Trump accounts will benefit. So ring the bell, Mr. President.
See, they were pointing out that it was already time. I got to make the boom boom noise. So Bessent had to explain what it really was so that Trump could come out and ring the bell like a toddler. And then when he goes up to answer questions, he says the same shit. He says every time the same like 4 things over and over and over again. Okay, so there was another big story on shitter. There's like twofold. One was, of course, that Patriot Front, spelled F-R-U-N-T, curiously enough, that according to Laura Ingraham and the people at, I guess, Old Navy, they're all saying they're fake. I'll show you. I call fake, says Laura Ingraham. Looks more like Antifa in costume. No one should be allowed to cover their faces, which of course does not extend to ICE, obviously, Laura, I guess, Laura. But here's this is, I guess, one of the leaders who does show his face.
All right, here we are with the Patriot Front in front of the Washington Monument. Hey, ready?
Oh, and one of the piece of evidence you hear is that this guy's flag is upside down, and no patriot would do that. Okay, first of all, if you'll recall, all during the Biden administration, there were a ton of these idiots, especially the J6ers, who put the flag upside down because it's a sign of distress. If you hang the flag upside down, you're like, we're under attack, and this was also an anti-immigration dog whistle, right? Okay.
You guys speaking up on the record here? What do you guys think of Kash Patel for FBI director? Anybody? What do you guys think of Kash Patel for FBI director? Anyone? Kash Patel? Any thoughts? Any of you guys able to speak through those face diapers? Kash
Nailing
Patel
him.
for FBI director? Any thoughts?
This is Richie MCG who's interviewing. Oh, wait, I want to see if he actually interviews one of the guys or sees him speak. Here it is.
There you go. Because he's a foreign.
He's not a foreigner. He's born in America.
Yeah, but he's Indian.
Okay, here.
Indians should be in charge. I don't know. Why?
I'm just wondering. I think it's a good question. You know,
I
he's coming in.
don't like the FBI. I think it's a largely illegitimate branch of law enforcement. And Kash Patel is probably, I don't know, I'm not really familiar with his background. He is Indian, though. I don't think Indians should be in charge of any of the departments of government of the United States. So there you go. Because he's a foreign.
He's not a foreigner. He's born in America.
Yeah, but he's Indian. Plenty of people are foreigners born in America.
What about your ancestors?
They're American.
Yeah,
Yes.
born
correct.
in America.
Yes.
But where did they come from originally?
See, actually, just being born in America doesn't make you an American.
Born in America to second generation. That's
Still, yeah.
Your parents
Still
are
not.
naturalized citizens and you're born in America, you're
Now,
still
see,
not
being a
American?
citizen doesn't make you American either. It's a natural thing.
What's natural about being an American
Natural.
citizen?
Well, nationality is a natural thing.
Okay, so my ancestors are half Italian, half Irish.
Yeah?
Do they count?
Why are you shaking?
Huh? I'm
Handshake.
cold, dude. I just
Cold?
skateboarded like 8 blocks.
Skateboarded over here?
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people of European nationalities, of the European race, can become American. India is not in Europe, though, so they cannot.
What about
Sounds like Antifa to me. So this is obviously, you know, any of these dickheads, you know. I'm just enjoying the fact that they're getting the piss taken out of them by people who are allegedly on their side, where they're like picking a fight with their own in this. Let's see. So the Constitutionalists, there you go, says the government will tell you Patriot Front are communists. I don't know what that means. I don't know where you would get that. First of all, by government, I don't know. You mean Trump? You mean the Republicans who currently run everything will call Patriot Front communists? I think there's like a stream crossing that is going on in terms of their you know, insults and pejoratives and their compliments. I don't know that they can tell the difference anymore. Okay. The enemies who are will tell you they are white supremacists. So the government isn't the enemy, I guess. Maybe that's a plus from this person. Okay. White nationalists, CBS. White supremacists, WAPO. Neo-fascist hate group, Google. Patriot Front ideologies, anti-immigration, nationalism, ethno-states, reject multiculturalism, reject diversity. America is passed down through blood. Obviously, but, you know, there's a limit on how far that is, and it certainly doesn't count like people who spilled their blood, for example, you know, African-American soldiers who fought to preserve the freedoms of that blood doesn't count. I get it. Okay. If you don't know what these things mean, start rating. No. They are the foundations of this country. Nah, they're not, actually. It wasn't meant to be an ethno-state at all. The government and the enemies have been conditioning you, Americans. The values are hate, fascism, communism, racism. Well, these are so communism. I don't understand. The communism thing, I think they're just throwing in. This has got to be one of those, like the Constitutionalists, we will be free 24, Constitutionalist Christian, Heritage American, Army medic, veteran, firefighter, flight RN, hashtag Ohio, 42,000 followers. And are we going to find out this account was started in Indonesia? Is that how those work? They figured out the VPN way around that, which Elon Musk literally admitted to. What is a heritage American? Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? That's the point. Is it 2 generations or 5 generations? If it's before the revolution, your family line could be as monarchical, you know, as anybody else. That doesn't mean they sided with the constitutionalists at the time. If that guy's that person's calling themselves a constitutionalist, right? So anyways, they're silly people. That's the kind of the point. But hold on. They also play this video of, and that guy again, about this dude apparently, you know, the problem with everybody saying that these guys are Antifa or whatever, they're all white dudes who are, I guess, clearly on some sort of Alex Jones puffy skin supplement. But this guy, I think, in theory, has met these guys without their masks on. Yes? I mean, this is, in many ways, they're just shooting for the new, this is a newer, easier KKK outfit. You know what I mean? If you have a blue shirt and khakis in your closet, nobody's going to notice the way they would a big white robe. That seems like the reason for it. You can always hide your hat or turn it inside out. Is that the theory? Anyways, hit the like, share the show. It's the Temu KKK. Yeah, you're not far off there either. But here he is again. This is the same dude giving a speech in front of, yeah, yeah, here we go. This is this dude's, the beginning of his.
While many are content to celebrate independence on this day, we know what these vapid displays conceal. Our people are not independent. Our destiny is shackled
It's weird that the words just run together without punctuation.
to 100 competing nations imported to this soil, bringing with them countless incompatible interests. Our homeland...
I thought that was a horn honking in the background until I was like, oh, they're playing music to make this, you know, seem more profound, I guess.
turned into a squalid arena of profiteers and invaders, overseen by a spineless cast of traitorous politicians. We wish for sovereignty and liberty which cannot coexist.
Did you see that little hand gesture? That little subtle, kind of the shuffle Hitler, you know? That's so the, hey, little, you thought I was gonna.
With the conditions that have been forced upon us a quarter
Why don't you just play the Jaws theme, dude?
millennia has now passed since America's violent birth, and nothing I can say will glorify independence more than the blood of our forebears that stains this continent, consecrating it forever with the immortal legacy of the men who died for so noble an objective as sovereignty. So we stand...
Yeah, so anyways, you get the point. Like these are true believers. They're, you know, they're fucking cuckoo, but they're definitely true believers. And I gotta say, I'm enjoying the fact that everybody is calling them March on the Capitol page front. Okay, I gotta find the the good guy accounts. Yeah, here it is. The conspiracy theorists were right about everything during the Biden regime. The Patriot Front was an SPLC false flag operation. Was? Fuck are they now? I gotta tell you, that's a much bigger crowd than I ever saw a march of them during Biden, and they seem more upset. They were definitely upset. It's so silly. The man bun Nazi. Yeah, that's why I won't man bun. I can't man bun. And then, ring, ring. Cops are right behind him. Chuck, 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 chuck. You guys can't even get your steps together? Come on, guys. Yo left, yo left, yo left, right. Why did the chicken cross the road to get from the left or the right, sir? Razzle dazzle. Yeah, obviously they wouldn't do the Stripes March because that's based on the idea that, you know, we're all Americans. We're mutts. Here's proof his nose is cold. So, again, take a little joy from the fact that these guys decided they were going to march on Donald Trump's 250 4th of July, and almost to the person, MAGA is attacking them as feds. Now, here's the problem I have with the whole Fed thing. This is guys at least going SPLC. The issue I have with it being, well, I want to find one that specifically is like the Fed. That's OSINT Defender. They're right. Yeah. Yeah, here it is. And I think this is a AI video that somebody made of them dancing, I'm pretty sure. Unless they're... Yeah, I don't think this is... I think this is an AI video, I'm pretty sure. Especially since they're smiling through their white masks. Might be the giveaway where they suddenly have mouth holes where they didn't before. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Okay, so Patriot Front is nothing but a bunch of F-word feds trying to set up pissed off white men. We aren't falling for it, you traitors. That's got to be rough. So my question is, if they're feds, Who sent them? Who sent them? In theory, Kash Patel, Ratcliffe, or Bessent. I guess these are the ones with federal agents, right, under their scrutiny. I mean, it couldn't be the Department of Defense slash, the Department of Warts, right? Unless Trump has his own little private dipshit militia that he's just giving plastic shields to and flags with the wrong number of stripes. Who are you blaming? I mean, maybe that's where they have to come up with the deep state part of it. But if it's the SPLC is a private organization. That I get. If you want to blame it on somebody, blame it on some rando, George Soros, whoever. That makes sense. At least it's not what's happening, obviously, but it makes sense in the conspiracy world. But if they're feds, then they had to either be okayed or assigned or funded, right? Through the FBI, through the Treasury, or by some money laid out by Congress into a black program called this by the CIA. These are the only real ways they could actually create a group like this and unleash them. And it would have to be, the most logical point would be that it's a CIA funded hate group that is they use all sorts of ways to get money to them because the deep state is trying to something or other. That would be Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe and the president both have access to any of those programs, and they can look at them anytime they want to. So, and same thing with Pulte now and Tulsi Gabbard. So maybe, maybe Tulsi Gabbard signed off on their paychecks right before she left. Yeah, Grindr took a huge hit. And interestingly enough, whenever there's a RNC meeting, it crashes. Whenever these guys are marching, the traffic goes down. I don't know what that's about. Anyways, I guess you can't march and swipe at the same time. Maybe that's what that guy was doing. It wasn't a little mini Hitler, like midget Hitler salute. It was he was just swipe right for America. Anyways, so this is So these guys are getting like shellacked by their own people. I'm not here to claim these guys are feds or anything of the sort. When I organized with Proud Boys, we always operate with a clear strategic objective at every event: protect people, amplify an important issue, provide personal security for individuals. What I've never understood is marching in formation. To me, it comes across as cringe and theatrical. If the sole objective is simply to be seen, then mission accomplished. After Charlie Kirk was assassinated, blah, blah, blah. Patriot Front chose differently. They rolled up in full uniform with their flag flying. The media immediately pounced. The headlines weren't about Charlie Kirk anymore. They were about Patriot Front. This wasn't just short-sighted. It was selfish. How dare you, Patriot Front? Whether it was deliberate or not, I'll leave that for others to decide. But the effect was clear. They hijacked the moment for their own optics. Yes, something Donald Trump would never do. And a solemn occasion for a fallen leader became another spectacle for the evening news. Hundreds of white nationalists, Patriot Front, marched in D.C. to get... And so this is the footage. They struggle with the heat as well. Yeah, I guess so. This is a... So there's not even one for all the what's his name who had the little where he gets people on camera. I'm blitzing on his name. Somebody will know it. The guy who had his little Veritas media thing where he would get people talking about like, yeah, COVID. Yeah, we totally think it came from a lab. That kind of thing where you're like, okay, yeah. 3 and 7 people, you managed to interview one of the 3 of the 7, might say, yeah, totally. Yeah, James O'Keefe, thank you. It's clear why you wouldn't, they don't have any anonymous interviews with any of these guys. You're not going to walk up and go, hey guys, can we do a sit down where we won't show your face, but tell me who you are and what you do and none of that stuff. Right? They can't manage to swing an interview with any of these guys. I mean, I guess they can with the leader. He's done one, I suppose, right? Yeah, somebody was saying Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh doesn't show up at these things. Matt Walsh, yeah, 7 of 9. All right. So how many were there? A few hundred? Yeah. But I think it was a much bigger crowd of them than I've seen at other stuff. But the more of them there are, you would think it would tone down the hey, they're a bunch of feds talk, but it doesn't at all. I find that hilarious and peculiar. Turn this up. Apparently, some of them were overheating, and they had to cover them while they get water poured on them because their faces were showing. Hey, at least they're behaving. They're following. They're only crossing the street on the light. Say what you will about Patriot Front, but not a jaywalker in the bunch. There should be 300 of them. You know what I mean? That just for numbers. And if two other guys show up and it's 302. Also, try not to piss your pants actually at the event. That's ew. It looks like they all shit their pants. I'm sure it's ass sweat, but gross. That's the problem with khakis. That's the problem with khakis. They all look like you shit your pants whenever you're just sweating. It's nasty. But I think it's adorable that they all dressed alike, and I'm sorry that they missed Pride Month. It's all right. It's okay. Let your freak flag fly. That's why I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum, but I do not need an angle of everybody with swamp ass and khakis. I do not. Did they all just sit in like coffee ice cream just to cool off? It's not Spartan numbers. I agree. So that was the big part of this, where you have them marching and they're like, finally, we'll get our day in the sun. And son of a bitch, if we don't, that we'll teach them a thing or two. Now I have to show you something because I did some crafts for you guys this morning. I did something. You guys know I love making my silly little infographics these days. It's a nice little sideline hobby of mine. But there was a big story that came out. And I put big in air quotes, understand. Let's see, where's this guy? I'm going to pull up this document. There it is in Stream Docs. And it's in the Friday one. Sorry, beg your pardon. That there was this story. I'll show you. Benny Johnson's one of the people that put it up. But this is the general idea of it. Is that, okay, here we go. Open this guy up. The Federal Reserve just confirmed that what every American already felt in their wallet. And I want you to pay very close attention to this. Joe Biden's illegal alien surge drove home prices to rise by 30% and rent by 20%. Okay, do that right. So prices, a home that's $100,000 went to $130,000. A home that was $200,000 went to $260,000. A home that was $300,000 went to $390,000. Thanks to, if you wanted to buy a $300,000 house and you could afford that, you'd have to pay almost $100,000 more because illegal immigrants caused the home prices to rise by 30% and rent by 20%. If you were going to rent an apartment for $2,000, you would now have to pay $2,060. Or sorry, $2,600. If you wanted to, $3,000 on and up, you get the point. All right. So yeah, your rent is up 300%. Okay. According to this math, that's exactly what happened. To rise by 30% and rent by 20%. That's what happens when 7 million people, Wait, hold on. Does anybody remember how many seven 7 million. I had always heard 25 to 35 million people. That's what happens when 7 million people flood into your country in a 3-year span. So it's, I had heard that it was 7 a year. 7 million people. isn't Trump saying 25 or 35 million people came into the country? But here's what we're going like. So somebody read half of the article that was in the New York Post today. Hardworking American families got priced out of the American dream so Biden could flood the country. Now President Trump is doing the opposite, securing the border, putting America's first, fighting to stop giants like BlackRock from buying up single-family homes that could go to American families. President Trump is turning the American dream into an American reality. And this is like Scott Jennings was saying, and this is what he targets. Biden's illegal immigration surge triggered 30% rise in home prices, 20% in rents, Fed paper fines. Now, who thinks that's actually what happened? Who thinks that that's Biden's illegal immigration surge triggered solely responsible for a 30% rise in home prices and 20% rent, Fed paper fines? How many people think that's actually what's in the article? Who thinks that is anywhere near what the actual paper says? Never mind the fact that it is not a report signed off on by the Dallas Fed. It was released by a working group in the Dallas Fed that has not been peer reviewed, but and uses some curious math, which is fine. Do that. If you want to look at something through a new angle, knock yourself out. Give it a shot, kids. But how many people actually think that that's what the paper says? That it triggered a 30% rise in home prices. And you can see how these assholes tend not to read past. Here you go. Next time Democrats roll out affordability talking points, ask them if they've read this story yet. I have, and I read the report attached to it. And I love it. Okay, first of all, let's start with, let's see if I can bring this up. Where is the pictures? Here it is. I think this saved to one, because there's a couple of points that I want to, did it grab? It did. Great. Let's start with this one. Yeah. Let's start with this little piece right here. The estimated effect of unlawful immigrant workforce on average weekly wages is roughly -1, but it is imprecisely estimated. Thus, we cannot reject the hypothesis that local wages were unaffected by the UIWF. Examining industry-specific effects, we find that UIWF had a particularly large impact on the leisure and hospitality industry during the boom period. And the boom period would be 21 to 24. And you're going, how? But Trump wasn't elected until January of 25. Exactly. We also extended the labor market analysis to the immigration slowdown period of mid-2024 to mid-2025. The immigration slowdown period of mid-2024. Okay. While we find an Ivy point estimate, a 4-point estimate for the unemployment effect around 1, estimates are statistically insignificant. Industry-specific estimates for this period point to positive and weekly significant employment effects in education and health and in manufacturing. Why is that? Why would that be? Well, kids, this one. Looking at the subcomponent of government transfers, the result point to significant negative effects of UIWF on total local area government transfers and government transfers per capita. So government, like Medicare, Medicaid payments, money going in from the federal government is negatively attached to immigrant rises. So you have less government help coming into an area because it buoys other businesses, because the people, even though they sneak in illegally, they got to eat. They got to live someplace. They got to buy toilet paper. They got to buy motor oil. They buy gasoline. All this other stuff feeds into the community. Even if it's temporary, it means that fewer people are on government assistance because there are more other jobs needed. It's a one-to-one in terms of the job. So we'll show this real quick. So this is in the report. They actually, for those that fucking read it, see how it says Dallas Fed? Sorry, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, DallasFed.org up there. Okay. Specifically, we find that an increase in unauthorized immigrant worker flows equal to 1% of initial local employment leads to a reduction in government transfers of 4.5% and in government transfer per capita of a negative 5%. These transfer reducing effects of unauthorized immigration are consistent with the positive employment effects we find, which reduce eligibility and need for government safety nets programs such as unemployment insurance, food assistance, and Medicaid. There's a contrary report that they point to here, but their math says otherwise. However, they stand in contrast with survey results reported by Camerata and Ziegler, which is, again, is survey-based, pointing to higher participation in government welfare programs in 2024 by non-citizens compared to U.S.-born citizens. It's not a city-by-city basis, and it's because they're in temporary housing that's paid for, so it skews the numbers. It's not the same. And once they get a work permit, they immediately go off of it. So while you can't get a work permit and you're waiting your asylum claim, the longer you wait on that, the more government assistance you need, which is why the Biden administration moved people towards work permits as fast as they could to get them off the public tit. But without that, like when you do that, when you do exactly what Biden was doing, it results in a 4.5% to 5% drop in government assistance needed in those areas, not just for the undocumented people, but for the citizens. This is in the same report they're like jacking off to all morning. Okay, so the other part is, and this is the part that truly annoys me. Let's see. Yeah, let me open this one up. I'll open it this direction. Here you go. I tried to do something a little Schoolhouse Rock for us, using an analogy for the 30%. Did undocumented Benny Johnson and everybody, Glenn Beck, come here, stupid. Anybody who thinks that the 30% there was a 30% rise in housing prices in the last 4 years, which just think that through for a second, and that anywhere, and if the long-term cost of it would be the highest rise was in the raising of interest rates, which was again due to the pandemic. All right, but you can understand why this math is confusing to them. So 30. I'll show you the graphic I made because I'm very proud of it. Hold on, I called it a pizza the puzzle, so you guys can see what this means. All right, here we go. So. I even have kind of a Schoolhouse Rock look to it. I asked for Schoolhouse Rock, and this is the closest thing. It gave me another one, but it used the little Schoolhouse Rock Bill guy, and it was just it called it the pizza analogy, and I thought that was too boring, so I decided to go with a pizza the puzzle. 30% of the rise, not a 30% rise. So this is how it works. Of the 100% of the rise in prices, whatever it was, and that is not 30% in price, 100% of the price that came, the rise in rents and in and home costs, and this is largely multifamily because BlackRock and other places were buying up apartment buildings because immigrants tend to to an apartment, not in single family homes. Of the whole pie, whatever it is, if housing prices went up $1,000 in your neighborhood or $10, immigration is only responsible for 30% of it, undocumented immigrants, during the last 4 years. And really only during a 3-year period, as it was temporary. And it was temporary to the middle of 2024. So only during this window of time did the price go up. But the point is that Trump promised the prices would go down. If you'll recall, they're getting these people out of here, right? 25 million people, mass deportations. We're getting them the hell out, right? Well, even Benny Johnson admits there were only 7 million excess people that came in during that time, and they didn't all stay, to the point where even in the report, it says that there was a period from 2011 to 2019 where unauthorized immigration into the country was a net negative. There were more documented immigrants coming into the country since 2011 than undocumented. And the rush happened largely because of the collapse of the economies due to COVID. As soon as stuff started to right itself, guess what happened? A bunch of people went the fuck home. It had nothing to do with their, like, being unwelcome here. It had nothing to do with them looking to be on a government tit. They literally were fleeing a system that was collapsing under the weight of a pandemic. And then once it righted itself, they basically, a good portion of them went home. So 30% of the rise during a 3-year period was attributed to undocumented immigration, mostly in multifamily homes, apartment buildings, where there were private owners or companies like BlackRock that owned them, where they could get more out of them because the government was paying the temporary cost. And you can also add to that the fact that apartment buildings during that time were competing, they're like hotel rooms were sort of transitioning to like an Airbnb setup. So that also raised the price of stuff and what qualified as a home. So 30% of it, okay? About 2.5 slices of the whole pie. The other parts were low mortgage rates for a period of time under Joe Biden, which tightened the available supply. Post-COVID demand, because people were buying houses because they were going to work from home. If you'll recall, is anybody going to go back to the office? So people moved into a bigger space because they wanted a house with an office, and they could afford it because their company was moving away from that. They were incentivizing people to move to work from home because they didn't want to have to pay the rent on an office if nobody was going to go there. So for 2 fucking years, everybody there was this huge upgrade move. You couldn't. That's why the cost of wood was going up, because building went through the roof. If you don't believe me, ask fucking Pulte, Trump's own temporary DNI guy. So the other one, limited housing construction. There's a wonderful part of this study that they released that says one of the reasons why it doesn't go up higher when we have a flood of undocumented immigrants is because an outside number of undocumented immigrants, working age immigrants, work in housing construction. Because if you need more houses for the market to expand and therefore the cost to go down because demand and supply start to work their way out, you needed more undocumented people in the country to build the goddamn houses. Remember Trump and his team of ICE holes chasing that dude off a roof? They literally busted an undocumented immigrant and a couple other guys, and he was up on a roof and he wouldn't come down. He was fucking roofing. That whoever was getting their roof fixed that day, the price of them getting their roof fixed went up immediately. Because the guy that they were working with either had to hire some locals that he had to pay more to, or he had to pay off somebody to look the other way until Trump gave him the bro deal. Zoning and regulation, which is a factor of all, as you build newer and bigger homes, and there's a crisscross of like HOA and NIMBY stuff that's going on in major markets all the time. Inflation and costs. That's where supply worked its way in. Like the materials you needed to build a house went up. Investors and cash buyers, which are, you want to talk about a foreign threat to the American real estate market that's driving it up? It's not the ones that come here and live in the goddamn things. It's foreign investment groups that form these like bullshit black money LLCs that Donald Trump is a part owner in, and they use him as cover. And then demographics and more, which is people staying in their houses longer because they had a better interest rate. And as interest rates went up, people didn't want to move because nobody's going to want to, you can't move to a bigger house if you're paying 2.5%, if you're going to pay 6% unless you desperately need it. That's what slowed down. And so that constricts supply. Yeah. So this is a key part of this. So high immigration equals more demand. Prices rise when supply can't keep up. But then less immigration is less new demand, but the water is still in the tub. This is the other water analogy. I had a couple of different analogies, so I put them in there together. So it's only a piece of the puzzle. So What they're saying is immigration caused housing prices to rise by 30%, which would mean immigration is the entire pizza. And the reality is the study found immigration increased for about 30%, accounted for about 30% of the home increases from 2021 to 2024. So it's 30% of the rise, not 30% of a rise. And then the problem is that, well, if you got all those people out, if there were 25, 35 million people out, you got them out, why the fuck is the price not coming down? Why is that? Why is it staying up? Why didn't it come down 30% as soon as you ran all the people out? You're doing these giant deportations, right? I mean, the housing market and the apartment market should be crashing right now. I got news for you. One of the reasons why Mamdani is confident in his freeze on rental prices sticking by and large is because he is piggybacking on top of the immigration programs of Trump. Just a fact. They're counting on there being fewer undocumented people living and working under the table in New York City because of limitations at the border and limitations in the city itself. Even as a quote unquote sanctuary city, it doesn't fucking matter. You still have to get there. And people only have a working window of about 10 to 12 years where they either have to fuck off or they move someplace where nobody notices, or they gentrify into the area and don't want to live in a, 5 to a room. So they move out of the city. They move upstate New York. They move to Connecticut, those kind of things. Also, the unrented units thing is another big, yes, you're exactly right. One of the things that foreign investors do in the country, the Saudis, fucking, European hedge fund groups that exist just as much as American hedge funds groups do this as well. Russian money, Chinese money, the way they hide it is they buy entire buildings and then they wait for them to become vacant. They basically just sit on them as everybody dies, don't rent out the new units and leave them vacant to keep the price up because they own 2 other buildings in the area as well. If all those apartments went online, the price of the individual units would go up. And if they ever decided to sell the building for a profit or whatever, they'd have to and convert it into something else that might be more profitable. They'd have to get everybody out of it. So it's better to have an empty building. That's why major cities need to have a vacancy tax. If you can't fill the apartment or the housing unit at the price or the rate that you are advertising it at, you either drop it on a regular schedule until you do by at least $50 or whatever a percentage of the amount based on the standard of living in the area, or you get taxed that amount by the city because you have empty units and it is artificially affecting the housing market in the city, causing everybody else's prices to go up. I'm just saying. If you're going to own rental properties, you got to rent them at a price that you can actually get, instead of just creating a fake number just to create vacancy so you can turn it into an office building, or flatten it and build a high rise where you can sell $7 million condos. So anyways, so you can see how the New York Post read this because they're stupid. Biden's illegal immigration surge triggered 30% rise in home prices, 20% in rents, Fed paper fines. This is clearly a person who does not understand how math works at all, and it's everywhere. It's all over this thing, right? It caused home prices to rise 30%, rents 20%. Everybody's making the same dumb read on it, and even the maggots that do occasionally show up in our chat have to understand the difference between that math, right? A 30% rise versus 30% of the rise. And you can complain about the 30% of a rise all you want, but you also have to recognize that that rise stopped in January, actually, and started to peak in June of 2024 through the rest of the year, before any of Trump's immigration shit went into effect. And this is where the math really confuses them. Want lower grocery store prices? Deport 20 million illegals. Want lower mortgage rates? Deport 20 million illegals. Want lower health care? None of this make any sense yet? No, it doesn't make any sense, because the groceries that you're getting at the price you're paying is partially subsidized through undocumented immigrant labor. You might as well just say build some fruit picking robots. That's what you really mean. So anyways, want lower mortgage rates? Deport 20 million illegals. Okay, that means in theory, less money in circulation going to other places, even though there aren't 20 million illegals in the country at all. Again, the number is closer to 11. It's a static number that's been there for a long time. I don't know why that would affect the lower mortgage rates currently, because again, that number dropped off a cliff. There was never 20 million. It's still the same number it's been. The mortgage rates have gone up, and the number of undocumented people static in the country has not. Want lower health and car insurance? Deport 20 million illegals. Okay, the health part of it is as much attributable to maggots who think the ACA is a violation of their freedom, who don't want to get insurance and then show up at the at the emergency room anyways. I would say if maggots really wanted to commit to this whole anti-ACA thing, just wear a do not treat medallion if you don't have the cash in your account to pay for whatever your treatment is at the time. If you can't afford it, if you don't have insurance, you don't want to carry insurance, and you don't have enough in the bank to cover whatever happens to you, then you should wear some sort of medallion or fill out some legal document that says, don't treat me. It would take other people's money, and I'm against that. I don't want to be forced to have insurance, so I'm not going to burden the rest of my countrymen and women and children's by forcing that cost onto them. So just wear a do not resuscitate, do not treat medallion at all times, and everybody will get off your back. Want safer streets and communities, deport 20 million illegals. Again, the overall is that undocumented immigrants commit fewer crimes than natives. That is partially a skewed. I hear that one all the time. That is partly a skewed statistic on two fronts. It's not as cut and dry as this guy wants it or as other people want it, because on the one hand, a lot of people who are here undocumented, by and large, are just here to work and they keep their head down. So they're not here to come commit crimes. And the ones that do often commit crimes against other immigrants. They sexually assault other undocumented immigrants. They steal from other undocumented immigrants. They physically harm other undocumented immigrants. And that doesn't get reported because somebody who gets assaulted like that is not going to want to report it to the police because they're afraid of being deported. Hence, the reason you have for sanctuary cities a lot of times is because you want people to be able to report that there's a rapist in the community. And let's say a native citizen is committing these assaults, but they assault undocumented people. The undocumented people don't want to report it because, let's say 30% of their victims are undocumented. Those people don't want to report the crime because they're afraid of being deported. So this person continues to commit crimes, and I guess nobody cares about those people on the right, but ultimately that doesn't, if you got all the undocumenteds out of the country, do you think that person's going to stop being a rapist or a murderer or a thief? Right. So here's Kevin Sorbo doing Hercules math. Biden's open border caused a 200% rise in rent prices and a 30% rise in home prices and 20%. Just of everything. When we say the mass deportations will make your life better in every aspect, we mean it. And 20%. So 20% rise in rent prices, 30% rise in home prices, and 20%. I guess it's a tip. Biden left a tip for these guys. So is that clear to everybody? Is my little display clear to everybody? The piece of the puzzle? This guy right here, I just want to make sure that everybody recognizes the math here and what that means. Right. Okay. And that it was during, according to this story, the period by which they added that ended in 2024 while Joe Biden was still president. Benny, if you're going to say you're an idiot, at least spell "your" right. I mean, it's so 2007. It's not my fault your math sucks, guys. Sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, sadly, that narrative is lost, but perhaps. So what's Trump doing to lower the cost of everything? He isn't. He's counting on the oil glut that I have mentioned before. He's counting on the oil glut kicking in and saving his ass over the next year and a half. As are a bunch of European countries with debt as well. Let's see if I can shrink this down and show you what I mean. I made an oil glut explainer. Let's see if I could go back to here and show you the whole thing. Where is it? Where are you? Oil. There you go. Yes, here we go. This guy right here. So here it is, the oil glut. The oil glut is coming. So why is there going to be an oil glut? Because the industrialized countries of the world are moving away from oil and gas, have been for a long time. The electrification of commuter cars has been a thing for a long time, and everybody knows it. The Saudis are preparing for it. Most of the Middle East is. They're making hay while the sun shines, but they know it's over. And the premise that China was going to make up for the dip that was coming from Europe transferring, that's over too. It's not happening. So he's hoping right now that it's gonna that he can ride that wave, and to some degree he may be right, because like I said, it didn't matter who was president, him or Harris. The oil glut's on its way. Period. So and this I don't know why this 40, 26 to 20. That's hilarious. Doesn't that mean 2026? All right, 20, it says 4020. I love AI video because that changed when I made it from a straight image to a moving video, because I wanted the oil. I wanted to make that a bobbing. I wanted to catch your attention, so I wanted to make the thing float in the water. Yeah, it's definitely AI slop. That's the point. So, anyways, you guys get the point. The oil glut is a foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of time, which is why I think Trump is looking for that to fuel the growth going forward and to bail him out with the cost of it. The problem is that it's going to. Oh, here you go. Let's see. Here's Nancy Mace's response to the article that we're talking about the immigrants. The message could not be more clear. The American people want illegal aliens out. 56% of Americans support mass deportation, more than half this country. They've seen what illegal immigration does to our schools, our hospitals, our communities, and our taxpayers. They've had enough. If you're here illegally, go back where you came from. We will never stop working to keep America safe and secure. America first, always. And then this is a image that they're showing of people going into. Do you notice anything about the contrast between the size of the airplane and the line of dudes? Do you notice anything about it besides it's fake? Does anybody, you notice the difference? Do you think we're just putting these guys in a plane without seats and flying them out? Is that how you think it works? And again, is this a mass deportation? Right? Fucking, what is it, eight guys? I guess the assumption is that the line goes on forever, but it absolutely does not. There just aren't that many people. Sorry. There just aren't. That's why Trump gave that bro deal to his friends in, oh wait, here you go. Here's somebody who's staring at the math and into a C-130, I know. Litquidity from Lit Capital goes, what the fuck? And has a picture of Kevin Spacey. Illegal immigration under Biden caused home prices to rise 30%, rents 20% per a Fed paper. Exact sum. No, it didn't. Breaking Federal Reserve working paper. That's the other part of this. Suggests. John Solomon. This has got to be like. You could tell he's starting to tiptoe. As the day goes on, they'll start tiptoeing more around this. Breaking Fed Reserve working paper suggests Biden illegal immigrant wave drove up home prices 30%. It does no such thing. It does not. So, but man, if you could look at home prices in your area and blame all of it on immigrants, that's what they want you to do. Yeah, here you go. So this is populism is democracy. This is somebody trying to work this part out. Okay, the renting if you rent to federal law does not prohibit undocumented immigrants from renting property rights. The Fair Housing Act protects immigrants against discrimination. It's illegal for a landlord or leasing agent to refuse to rent you, impose different terms based on your national origin or citizenship status. Requirements, landlords, and this is different for each place or whatever. Buying with cash. Anyone, including foreign nationals and undocumented immigrants, is legally permitted to purchase and own property in the U.S. outright. If you have the savings, you can purchase a home entirely in cash with no mortgage required. That doesn't mean you have the right to live in it, though, which is very different. And also, this is the way that they kind of dodge the fact that foreign groups, foreign entities, rich people are buying houses with cash and sitting on them, which limits supply. And then it goes, securing an ITIN mortgage. Some specialty lenders and credit unions offer home loans specifically for individuals who do not have a social security number, but can provide an ITIN. Right, because they're here legally. Once you have a document that says you can stay, even if it's during the time that you're waiting on your asylum claim, you're not undocumented. You're a documented immigrant. You're just not, you don't have citizenship or nationalized status yet, if you can at all. Yeah, and they're not you're absolutely right. They're not kicking out people who are buying houses with cash. For real? You think Trump wants to, we want merit. We want people coming in, but we want merit, which means we want rich foreigners. Why do you think he started his little $5 million gold card, which by the way, no one wants? There you go. The $1 million contribution. I was like, nobody wants his thing. And the answer I got back immediately was, you are completely right. The program has attracted very little interest. The gold card requires a $1 million contribution plus a $15,000 application fee. Despite the cost, this program offers vague legal guidelines and no guaranteed path to citizenship. As of spring 2026, out of thousands of expected applicants, only 338 people have applied. Out of those, 165 paid the processing fee, and only one single person has been approved. Immigration lawyers are steering wealthy clients away from it, citing its experimental and potentially illegal nature. That's amazing. So, like, rich foreigners who want to come live here, their own lawyers are saying, yeah, don't do it that way. They'll rescind it and you'll be out $1 million. Yeah. Yeah, this is the lawyers for the global elite aren't buying Trump's gold card visa. Even Melania Trump's former lawyer is warning people away from Trump's program designed to make immigration easier for the wealthy. Hey, see, that's a big one, huh? I made a big poo-poo in my diaper. Immigration attorney Michael Wilds has represented First Lady Melania Trump and her parents, who are naturalized citizens. Gotta love that chain migration, right, Donnie? He has secured visas for Miss Universe title holders when President Trump ran the pageant organization. Weird. It's almost like that was his sole gig. He's done legal work for the Kushner family. But when he has received calls from potential clients interested in a gold card visa that Trump has touted for wealthy foreigners, he has told them there is little he can do because the program is legally dubious. It would be unethical of me to retain them, Wild says. Immigration lawyers who have represented wealthy individuals are warning their clients against paying the $15,000 fee to apply for the $1 million or $2 million visa that Trump has advertised, citing the lack of a congressionally established visa, ongoing litigation against the visa program, and uncertainty about the tax implications for their client. Yeah, is that a business expense or is America a charity now? 7 immigration attorneys who work with with the sort of wealthy clientele that the Gold Card program is meant to attract told the Washington Post they have either steered clients clear of applying for the Gold Card or declined to assist foreigners who have already applied, recommending instead that wealthy people consider established legal methods. Read that again. Legal methods of coming into the United States. Trump has created his own undocumented conduit where illegal immigration can occur. Yeah. And only one person has qualified. And it was a Saudi, I think, who isn't even going to live here. Let's see. The administration declined to provide any more information about the person who was approved, but a court filing by the government in a lawsuit of the visa revealed it has processed a limited number of applications. Out of 338 for Gold Card visa, 165 have paid the non-refundable $15,000 filing fee to move forward. 59 people have moved on to the subsequent step of filling out paperwork. The filing also said the Gold Card visa applicants will not necessarily get approval ahead of others seeking an EB1 or EB2 visa, which are given to foreigners with extraordinary talents who did not pay the expensive Gold Card fees. Yeah, so this is for rich dummies to come into the country. If you're rich and smart, as opposed to rich and nuts. If you're rich and nuts, you can make your parents pay $1 million to get you an American Gold Card visa. But if you actually have real talents, Mona Shah, an attorney with 2 clients at various stages of the Gold Card visa application process, said the court filing indicated to her that previous promises of speedy processing were false advertising. What? Trump was guilty of false advertising? She has warned her clients that their Gold Card applications might go nowhere. However, she said her clients, who are from Nigeria and Pakistan, please, somebody read that out loud in front of Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly. A Nigerian prince. I wonder if he came by that money honestly, or he got someone else's PIN number and helped them, bunch of old ladies. So good. The two tankers are a Nigerian and a Pakistani. Tell that to Patriot Front. Who's buying Trump's gold visa? Oh, so good. Have been frustrated by travel bans and restrictions and have money that they are willing to waste for the chance at residency. But she said, it's only a chance. They want me to say, yes, you're going to get it. And I can't say that to him, said Mona Shah. No relation. Attorneys said they are particularly worried about repercussions to their own careers by advising clients to consider the Gold Card visa, because if it turns out to be illegal, they participated in something that they very possibly might have known was legal in the first place. I think the white South Africans are getting a special pass. I think he drafted up one for them. They don't have to pay for it, right? Weren't they given they're all given a bus ticket from Johannesburg straight to downtown Boston? Ron Klasko, an immigration attorney who has taken one Gold Card visa case for a Ukrainian businessman, let me guess, from the Donbass, who's decided to move after his home in Crimea got a little noisy. He has created a short chart to explain to clients the distinctions between the Gold Card visa and EB5 visa to help inform their decision making. Oh, he made a little chart. It's like a fella right after my own heart. It's just like he makes graphics too. On one side of the chart, Klasko explains that EB5 requires an $800,000 investment, can provide residency for a spouse and minor children, and would only be changed by legislation. On the other hand, the Gold Card is a $1 million investment, plus an additional $1 million for every family member, and it can be eliminated by an executive order. Plus, he notes the Gold Card is at risk of litigation because there's no statute or regulation validating its existence. That's amazing. That just, those three, I gotta. There's no statute or regulation validating its existence. What do you mean validating its existence? It's right there sitting behind Trump at his desk. Look at him. There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a picture of, this is the under lack of validation. This picture is in the dictionary. This before they started Botoxing the stroke half of his face. Oh, God. You know what? I feel so much better doing a morning show like this, because this is the purpose of the morning show. Besides having wonderful guests, that I get to deep dive on some of these things. In the afternoon show, you know, some of this stuff will show up, and I only, you know, to keep the show rolling, I got to I can jump over. Is the Reddit my graphic Adidas stepchild? I think so. I think so. Yeah. Whatever it is, he's Scottish and he's probably beaten by his whoever he was indentured servant to. But I don't get, you know, in the afternoon, I don't get to dive into this stuff. Those South Africans can't stay either. Yeah, I mean, it's a temporary status. That's the thing. He did it with an executive order. Anything he's doing with an executive order, that's it. You know, as soon as they're done. I find that particularly hilarious. And it wouldn't be something that I would get to, jump into were it not for the absolute dipshittery of your run-of-the-mill maggot and their inability to understand what math is or what a temporary order is, like an executive order. And I'm just going to enjoy them being stupid. Can I show you something else too, real quick? A bunch of people made it. Famous people made it and stood out in the hot sun. Where is it? For the 4th. There we go. We got UFO stuff this afternoon. So, here it is. So Glenn Beck took a bunch of people. I don't know who they are. I'm assuming they're family and extended family, but they weren't happy about it, whoever they are. All right. Dad dragged them down there, right? So let's see if he posted the video of them all there. I think it was like a short or something. But they got to go to the White House. They got to, it's so easy, right? They get to do all this stuff. They visited. I don't know why this is. Oh, Glenn too. I see. So I typed in Glenn Beck, and somebody posted a picture of Trump asleep at one of the events. I don't know if that's real or not. I got to triple check all those things because the corner of it seems to be cut off. So I'm going to go with that. But yeah, Glenn was, where is he? Son of a bitch. Yeah, here it is. In line for 2 hours for the fireworks in the mall. By the way, it is 105 and we are standing on the street, no shade. To say the mood is declining a bit might be an understatement with a smile. Okay, so this is, oh God, that's awful. Hold on.
Hey, we're just here in line.
Now I gotta switch screens and then come back because it gets dickish about this. Hi, how are you? And we'll go back to here, see if this impacts anything.
And
yikes! All right, I love it when the audio gets wonky on there. Comment. Let's go to here. See if this plays out.
How you feel?
All right, hold on. This is where I have to change my audio source. So it didn't a jerk. Switch it to here. And then if that's turned on, I should be able to hear it normally.
Feeling Jay?
Yep, there it goes. So this is him with his family, I guess.
Hey, we're just here in line. And how you feeling, Jay?
It is unbearable.
Yeah.
What? It's hot. My whole entire back is wet.
You what?
My whole entire back is wet.
Yeah. How you feeling? I'm swimming right now.
He feels
It's bad.
great.
How you feeling, Ty? Happy Independence Day.
It's so funny. It's almost like Trump could have planned something better. Also, you're in line at that point for the fireworks, which were going to be the biggest in history. So in theory, you could have seen them from fucking Baltimore. And these dickheads are all like lining up to watch them from close by, I guess. Has family that acknowledges him? I don't know for sure. I'm assuming that's what that is. But he went to all these different places. I'm very tempted to dive in on hold on, reload, you silly page. Yeah, there you go. He is they're making the rounds of oh, good. This is... You remember the thing we watched with Tucker and the dude from The Blaze? Apparently, according to this, they think the pipe bomber was wearing an Apple Watch, and he does not own an Apple Watch. And therefore, it couldn't have been him, and it had to be the lady police officer, because no one walks like that and has a Apple Watch, I guess. I don't know what the gate analysis. Brian Cole Jr. does not own an Apple Watch, has never owned an Apple Watch. Operating basis like this is an inside job, shows whatever. You do realize that it could be a lookalike? Were they tracking someone? Let's see.
Stroll.
Hold on.
But I want to give you something that we've never released before, and
very exciting. Never released before. This is new.
Got permission from the attorneys to give this to you. This was something that Armitage, our video examiner, found. Is after thousands of hours of watching these videos of the bomber, walking through Rumsey Court for the first time, because this...
Like a girl.
This kid, our guy, he watches, the first time he watches a pixel set, then the next time he watches another pixel set, and then he's that obsessed with the videos. But that obsession led him to finally see a smartwatch flash on the bomber's wrist. This is after years of watching the same video over and over and over again and never noticed it. All of a sudden, the smartwatch flashes. This is the January 5th hoodied pipe bomber. It flashes again. He tells us about it, so me and now my whole team, we go all of us go all in back to the videos again, and suddenly what we thought were arm stretches and other motions that the bomber was just making during the stroll, the bomber's talking into their wrist.
Obviously to their handlers. What are they making personal notes? Dropped off the bomb. Definitely going to get coffee on the way home.
At least 5 times that we can count. There's one problem with that. Is Brian Cole Jr. has never owned a watch, never worn a watch, much less acquired a smartwatch and learned to talk into it on the night of the distribution of the pipe bombs.
Oh, sorry. 1 second. There you go.
We know that for a fact.
Is he pleading guilty in this case?
No. Oh, no. In fact, just 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was a superseding indictment where they jacked it up, trying to force them into it.
Sorry, who's they? You mean Trump's DOJ and the FBI?
Plea deal. They jacked it up. They charged him with terrorism and planting weapons of mass destruction. Basically charges that would get him life in prison if he was convicted, thinking that they would scare him, the family, into a plea deal. Because that's
even though they weren't bombs.
Even though they weren't bombs.
Well, then why are you calling him the bomber?
And it doesn't seem like he did it.
and he could not physically have been the person that did it. He's the wrong shoe size. He's the wrong body shape.
Can gait recognition tell a man from a woman?
Are you worried? Let's just say they had one of these sensors outside a truck stop. It was Stephen Miller. Yeah. It could have been Elon Musk. I mean, if we're doing gait analysis, which is not to be confused with gay analysis. That is not a thing. I don't care what anyone says. It's fine. So I don't, the idea that the guy he was talking into his watch like this. So I'm sorry. This is like the thing about the Tyler Robinson thing started this morning. We'll talk about that a little bit as well. But it's like in the Tyler Robinson storyline. Where are we going? Here we go. In the Tyler Robinson storyline, where was one of the, there was this thing that in Israel the night before, somebody was looking up his name in Israel. Bunch of people were Googling him. Like there was a Google spike for his name, and the trauma doctor that treated Charlie Kirk, there was a spike for that person's name in Israel and someplace else right before. And my question is like, sorry, they threw together this assassination plot at the last minute? What did they do? Send it? Yeah, it was Dick Tracy. Did they send him a message that night and go, tomorrow's the day, whatever? If you've got a plan in place and it's the deep state and stuff, who are these nervous Nancys that they are hiring? It's like, I dropped him. You guys, should I circle the block one more time? Gosh, guys, I think I should go home. Yeah, I got a new puppy, right? Good Lord. So no, let's see. We'll see if they started the preliminary hearing on the Tyler Robinson thing today. I wonder how maggots are taking that one. Yeah, we should ask the maggots in the chat if they're even there. Because Erica Kirk is present. So is, I guess, I don't know if Charlie's family is there. Yeah, this works. Okay, so according to the preliminary hearing, Tyler Robinson's DNA was on the weapon, on the screwdriver, on the roof ledge where he jumped off. There were matching shoe prints. His parents identified him on TV during the manhunt. His parents said he had confessed to them. He left a handwritten letter confessing to his boyfriend / girlfriend. I don't know what his partner's gender is, but it doesn't quite matter. His partner. The weapon was identified by his parents and grandfather as being his grandfather's rifle. There's footage of him on campus. Therefore, in order to say that he was a patsy, you have to prove, and this is my favorite part, you have to prove that all these people are involved in the cover-up. The Utah State Police, the FBI, Dan Bongholio, Trump, J.D. Vance, Erica's mother, everybody at TPUSA, Frank Turek, Israel, Egypt, France, a Mormon B cult, multi-forensics teams, the Utah Valley University Security, the Utah Valley University Landscaping Crew, who no relation to Four Seasons Total Landscaping insofar as we know, but we'll have to check on that. Hospital staff, the DA, Tyler's own lawyer, state prosecutor, Tyler's parents, grandpa, and Tyler's boyfriend. And that's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for, God. And then, of course, all over Shitter today, they're going to be like re-airing him being killed and picking it apart. Yes, and Jeffrey Epstein was clearly part of it. This is anybody who wants to jump on Candace Owens and Ian Carroll are going to have a field day today. Let's see. Okay, and this is Fox saying this. Hold on, let's see. Hold on. This is Alex Jones saying that he was in an MK Ultra type program. that he was MK Ultra'd, which mean I guess Trump okayed it because Trump is in more control of the government than anybody in history.
There was some discussion about waiving the preliminary hearing. The preliminary hearing is an opportunity, as Paul Morrow said, to have a mini trial. You get evidence, you can cross-examine witnesses. It's determining probable cause.
We recognize that we are here today for a waiver hearing. It is not our intent to waive a preliminary hearing in this matter. We are going to be seeking that one be set. However, based largely on what the state just referred to as far as the voluminous nature of the discovery materials, we do think it would be prudent to simply reset for another conference, another waiver hearing.
This is normal lawyer talk. I would like, this is obviously they're airing the whole thing on Court TV and all these other things. But whenever they put stuff up like this and people are like, oh my God, they're moving to do this. They're trying to strike down this. They're like, all lawyers that have, I guess, at least passed the bar are going to do this.
A little bit down the road where we
I guess you got to pass the bar to be a lawyer, but my point is right out of the gate.
have a better idea once we start seeing the discovery as it rolls in.
Boy, if his lawyers
That's not that guy's voice.
waive the preliminary hearing, then I would say that
they're in on it.
Tyler Robinson is in MK Ultra style program.
Why? Because his own lawyers looked at the evidence and went, "Oh shit, yeah, they got him." And if we try to fight this, he'll get a worse sentence. We might be able to plea and keep him alive.
Because those exist.
They totally do. Yeah. And if they did exist, they would absolutely let you live and talk about them.
Tim McVeigh was handled by the deputy head of MK Ultra, Jolyon West.
Not when he actually did the thing.
The Unabomber was handled by the deputy head of MK Ultra, Jolyon West. His boss, Ewan Cameron, the head of the program.
And also, the idea that the Unabomber, they programmed him to do this, and then years later he came up with his own reasoning for wanting to destroy civilization. Sounds more like it, they messed with him a little bit, and he remembered that they did it. He didn't like that they did it. He blamed that on the government and then fixated and then tried to kill a bunch of people. The idea that they were like, we'll wind him up and make him, blow up rando packages all over the place.
It goes on and on.
It's just idiotic.
Sure. Was it Sirhan too? Yeah, like, hello, let me take care. The feds have attached, this is your psychiatrist. Hi, I'm Jolyon West. I ran the MK Ultra program. Oh, and I also was the attending psychiatrist for Jack Rubenstein. Jack Ruby. Yeah, there he is. I mean, so.
Uh-huh.
And it's real simple. They just electroshock somebody.
Sorry. Wait, so that guy's dead. So we're just assuming that because you're claiming that this guy controlled those other three people, that they controlled this guy as well. Nobody could come up with this on their own. Somehow every left-wing attacker is doing it because every right-wing attacker is doing it because they want to, unless they get caught and blamed for it. And then every left-wing person is doing it because they're trans ideology or something like that. They're being Sorosed into doing it. But anybody right-wing or that, you don't like the narrative on how somebody on the right died, it's got to be a plot by the deep state.
So much that they don't remember 6 months back.
Gee, I don't know about you, but this overlaying graphic horseshit looks like mind control in and of itself. It looks like you're trying to subtly program people. It's like when Trump says, think of it.
And by the
think of it. Alex Jones is sad mainly because he tries to blow himself and can't. Part of it's gut, part of it's lack of penis.
Well, it is confirmed.
Think of it. Now you can't not, right? See how that works? It's not hard. It's not easy at all.
That I shouldn't be laughing. This is all so sick. See, I always.
Yeah, it's so funny. That I was making a hard joke. Never mind.
It's coming up, so we'll get into it. Tyler Robinson was in a CIA advanced program for college students, the CAI.
Yeah, it's the same thing. The CAI and the CIA, same thing.
That is a fact. And he had a 4.0 grade average. That's who they recruit, boys and girls.
Sorry, you think 4 is a big deal? That's who they recruit. Maybe that on the margins of dumb. What do you mean? Or on the margins of smart in the gray zone? SSG and I'm an affiliate TBU. I don't know what the fuck they get so weird.
There, let's pull them up. You know, Josh, if you're there, I want to start with you. There was some discussion about waiving the preliminary hearing. The preliminary hearing is an opportunity.
Okay, so he plays this whole clip again, and this is so he does this looping shit on his channel. It's really aggravating. Yeah, it's the same shit. Okay, but it's like it would be one thing if it was like a loop on this stuff. So what's his name? The guy.
Hi, I'm Jolly and West.
Jolly and West. Jolly and West. Okay, we'll look up. Okay, let's see. Hold on one second. Who? All right. Louis Jolyon West. Louis Jolyon Jolly West. Let's see. Jolly West. Interesting figures in the history of psychology and psychiatry. A dangerous doctor, he was called. MKLG. Go. Jolly West has it. Even the podcast is afraid. Spotify. Myra Thaler and singer Louis Jolly and West. Try and find. Yeah. Let's see. Louis Jolyon West. That would be this guy. Here you go. Of course, you can't trust Wikipedia because they're obviously a government front. He died in 1999, but he left notes for somebody on how to control Tyler Robinson. And he knew, obviously that Charlie Kirk, because he used one of the Project Looking Glass to look into the future, and they knew this was going to happen, so he programmed it ahead of time. Probably recorded himself so they could play the tapes for Tyler, using his real name. Pioneer research in brainwashing techniques employed against American prisoners of war. His research exonerated U.S. servicemen under suspicion for treason by making false confessions during the Korean War era. He brought them to the attention of the CIA. West became involved in research using LSD and other drugs. And welcome to the fucking 50s and 60s. 54, at the age of 29, West became a full professor at the University of Oklahoma College of Medicine. Oklahoma City. Anybody? All right. West operated San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury district to conduct research into the hippie movement there. From 69 to 89, West served as a chair of psychiatry at the University of California, LA School of Medicine, and director of the UCLA Neuropsychiatric Institute. Worked as that explains all the cuckoos that came out of UCLA. Frequently worked as a court-appointed psychiatrist and examined Jack Ruby and Patricia Hearst during their trials. West was also, that's because they were talking about whether people were psychologically manipulated into doing what they did. The government was thinking that's what happened. They were looking into the Stockholm Syndrome, whether somebody was using mind control. That was a big paranoid point back then. He also active in studying the creation of and management of cults and anti-death penalty activism. Especially, I guess, when he died. No, whatever. He was a supporter of the civil rights movement and participated in sit-ins and rallies. He made several trips to South Africa where he testified on behalf of black prisoners during an attempt to end apartheid. Now I know why. I'm starting to understand why Alex doesn't like him. That makes so much sense. West was a trustee of the American Psychiatric Association and served as a consultant to a variety of government organizations, including the Air Force, the Peace Corps, and the U.S. Information Agency. Madison, Wisconsin, that figures. Jimmy Shaver at 54, he testified in the trial of Airman Jimmy Shaver, who was executed for the murder of Sherry Joe Horton. West was ordered to conduct a psychiatric evaluation of him. West hypnotized Shaver and injected him with sodium pentothal in an attempt to remove his amnesia. While Shaver was under hypnosis, he confessed to killing the young girl. At trial, he maintained his innocence. West argued that Shaver suffered temporary insanity on the night of her killing. University of Oklahoma. Participated in sit-ins. Okay, MK Ultra. Here's this big thing in MK Ultra. Cornell University, where West completed his residency in psychiatry, was an psychiatry. Listen to me. Psychiatry was an MK Ultra institution and the site of the Human Ecology Fund. Ooh, that sounds scary. And the Society for Investigation of Human Ecology, SHIHI, was founded by Harold G. Wolff. The organization was renamed the Human Ecology Fund and relocated to Cornell. It was a CIA-funded research and blah, blah. Success with POWs brought him to the attention of the CIA, CIA's technical services staff, chemical division head Sidney Gottlieb, whose code name for the operation was Sherman Gifford, because they were trying to make him sound like a St. Bernard, acted as West's handler. In a letter to Gottlieb dated June 11th, 1953, his handler, 2 months after MK Ultra started, West outlined the experiments he proposed to perform using a combination of psychotropic drugs and hypnosis. He became a contractor for MK Ultra. Subproject 43 got a $20,800 U.S. grant by the CIA. While he was chairman of the Department of Psychiatry at University of Oklahoma. For his role, he received top secret clearance. The proposal submitted by West in 1956 was titled Psychophysiological Studies of Hypnosis and Suggestibility, with an accompanying document titled Studies of Dissociative States. In it, West claimed to have discovered a way to replace true memories with false ones in human beings without their knowledge through the use of hypnotic suggestion. Think of it. He wrote that his discovery was the result of new drugs that he had been taking a lot. I think I remember this guy in... I think he made his one movie cameo was in Cannonball Run 2. He went by the name of Dr. Nicholas von Helsing. I don't know if you remember that.
Before I open this, don't get your hopes up too high. I was pressed for time. No problem. Holy shit.
I'm honored, sir. I'm Dr. Nicholas Van Helsing, professor of proctology and other related tendencies, graduate of the University of Rangoon, and assorted night classes at the Knoxville, Tennessee College of Faith Healing.
Knoxville, Tennessee College of Faith Healing. The stuff with the needle in it where he squirts it into it. Can you drink that? I never tried. Like that. That was that guy was responsible for most of what MK Ultra ended up doing. At one point, he killed an elephant with LSD at the Lincoln Park Zoo in Oklahoma City. They thought, let's see, one of the more usual is that he and two coworkers attempted to investigate the phenomenon of muth. It's a condition in bull elephants characterized by aggressive behavior, where they mush, M-U-S-T-H, muth. You figure it out. Sounds like Trump trying to say Maine. In elephants using by dosing Tusco, a bull elephant, with LSD. Yeah, this dude was a master manipulator of the human spirit. They expected the drug would trigger a state similar to muth. That's just rude. Seriously. Must? Is it? We're just going with must and they're just leaving the H to just to be a dick? I'm just going to call it muth. Instead, the animal began to have seizures 5 minutes after the LSD was administered, a.k.a. Bad trippin'. Beginning 20 minutes later, West and his colleagues administered the antipsychotic promazine hydrochloride. Promazine hydrochloride. They injected a total of 2,800 milligrams over 11 minutes. This large promazine dose was not effective and may have contributed to the animal's death. You think? It died an hour later and 40 minutes after the LSD. An hour and 40 minutes after the LSD was given. Later, many theories developed why Tusco had died. Some researchers thought that West and his colleagues had made the mistake of scaling up the dose in proportion to the animal's body weight rather than its brain weight without considering other factors such as metabolic rate. Yeah, this sounds like a government employee that they put in charge of mind control. Oh, God, I hate these assholes. But don't worry, this guy's got a super plan to control everybody's brains. It doesn't really work, but who gives a shit? but it's great because his existence allows us to blame every psycho asshole who takes a pot shot at somebody, a political or civil leader. Anybody who tries to kill him, we can blame on this fucker for till the end of time. Jesus Christ. Oh man, the show is just blitzed by today. I think I have one more thing I wanted to show you before we fuck off, and I will see you this afternoon, and no doubt. Oh my God, Trump did it. So Trump's little gatherings have, and we'll do part of this afternoon. He did a Rose Garden club lunch that they're just giving him little tasks to do.
January 20th.
Hold on. Oh God! And he's really got. I thought they fixed it with the Botox, but he's got right side sloppy face again.
Lee Greenwood. Wow.
Wow! What a great recording of a guy singing.
Has he been great, huh?
Yeah, he's been good.
That's been with me a long time. That song.
Oh, believe me, it feels like it's been forever.
We won 3 elections with that song, and.
Jesus, he can't even get an applause at his little sycophant Rose Garden gathering.
We have a country that's a much different place than it was just a short while ago.
It's the hottest country in the world. Guy from Saudi Arabia, Prince, great guy, sexy, throbbing chest muscles. I rubbed him. I motorboated him. Said, you used to suck and now you're wonderful. And
we have the hottest stock market in history. We did great the first time. We had the greatest economic numbers ever in history for the first term. And I think we're going to be blowing them away. What do you think, David? Do you agree? Goldman Sachs. David's here.
Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. That was my bad. I forgot. Yeah. Sorry about that. I should warn you ahead of time. Man, oh, Shevitz.
We'll be blowing them away. The numbers are all over the country. We have factories rising. $19.2 trillion investment. And please sit down. Please.
Yeah. So stop clapping. It's amazing. I can't. The amount of applause. It's too much. Yeah.
I appreciate you standing up. And anytime you want to stand up and cheer, that's okay too. But we have a lot of very big people.
The only thing they laughed at was the idea that they would stand up and cheer.
People here, they don't get up and cheer too often.
They're not about to start.
But they're very happy with what's happening. And
yeah, you can't see it. They're not showing it, but they are happy.
We're doing very well. As you know, Venezuela was amazing, and we're getting along great with Venezuela. We paid for the war many times over, and
the Venezuelan war? You mean the abduction?
Venezuela's doing better. The relationship is very, very good, and we're doing very well with Iran. We wiped out their navy.
Oh fuck! It's the same shit. Even the staff has to be tired of this stuff, right? Like, get the fuck on with it. It's so goddamn boring. I wish the good liars could show up at one of his events again and just like boring. Stop it. Meanwhile, by the way, I guess talks are supposed to resume in Iran. We go now to the people of Iran who are excited to get along with America. Here they come. They want to. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. They're trying to. Sorry, I have to play this again. There you go. We'll back it up. There you go.
Some targets here for you. Do you approve?
Peter Thiel, Laura Loomer. Sooner or later, your heads will roll. Target 2 is Ben Shapiro. Trump. There's 2 Trump signs. And Lindsey Graham, and then who was it? Mark Dubowitz and Miriam Adelson. Oh yeah, sure, because she funded it. I guess that's what they're thinking. And Lindsey Graham, and they're lifting. He gets a little. There's 2 Trumps and a Laura Loomer, which is just unfortunate is just that they had to get that big a close up. At least they backed off of him. That didn't look to me like the deal's going to go through. And even if it does, I don't know that they're going to live up to their side of it. Do you? And they also hung Trump in effigy. It's going really well. The talks are just, look forward to the talks. Yeah. And they also got a shot of him yelling something like they put the time in. There was some crafts. Obviously, the physical body of it is much slimmer than the real thing. But, and this is the gathering. I show and by the way, they do this all the time. They had a big gathering in the square for the funeral. Considering it's a country of 90 million people, and this is the funeral for the religious leader, the idea that many people showed up is not that weird, and is not sort of indicative of like, oh shit, Iran's going to turn on us and blah blah blah. But that's the regime adjacent people in the country. It's about a little over 10% of the country that shows up there, right? And some of them in an obligatory fashion, some of them because they believe that he might have been their chance at like normalcy to some degree because he hadn't triggered a greater conflict. Whatever. But still, yeah, a little bit dark, you think? And then they have, sorry, hold on. Speak about aerial drone clip showing massive crowds in Anatolia. Okay, I don't know that that's really AI. People are claiming that it is, but I'm gonna go with no. It's believable. But there are plenty of people out there just saying so and this, I think this has got to be one of the biggest kind of maggoty things. It's kind of amazing to me. This is Jackson Hinkle. You guys remember Jackson Hinkle? He was like one of the early maggots, right? He was like Nick Fuentes is like his stunt double, right? Anyways, this is him, I guess, riding a powered skateboard or something or he's on somebody else's scooter. He's riding on the back of somebody. He's holding on to some dude's shoulder, but he's going to the funeral. He's in Iran. Jackson Hinkle is in Iran for this funeral. And yeah, here he is, riding to the funeral of Sayyid Ali Khamenei. Consider who this dude was. I mean, this is not, here you go. Let's see if we shrink him down. I made with Jackson, whatever this business is. Yeah, he's just got 3.8 million followers, followed by Alex Jones, DC Drano. Like, he's a maggot. Like, he's a full-on maggot from Miami, Florida, and he's over there to mourn. I just got to say, like, MAGA, it's going very well. You're doing terrific. You couldn't hope for more. The unity, we're so envious over here with our 4 Democratic socialists in blue districts already who will ultimately vote with the Democratic Party because their priorities line up more than they differ, no matter what they've said in the past. And even still ask the squad how, like, holding the social safety net hostage so you can get something more extreme that you don't have the votes for, and work on how that, like, I recognize we're in deep shit because of the 4 people who are straight up commies or whatever the shit. And maybe you guys could give us lessons in how to hold it all together. What is that? Hold on. Hell knows posting on. There you go. This is. Oh, okay. So this is just them. Okay. We'll worry about the rest of this by the end of the show. I don't want to get it because I realized if I was about to crack in the next video I showed, we'll deal with it this afternoon. Says I'm sure. But the Rose Garden stuff, and they've got him doing stuff earlier and shorter, more and more. Even this Rose Garden dinner or that ringing of the bell, and then a little statement, and that's it. And then he's going to be gone every day after 4 o'clock. They kept him up late the other night, and so they're curtailing all this stuff. But he's supposed to go to the NATO summit Is it tonight? Is he flying out tonight or going tomorrow? So we'll have more fun statements from him talking about how Saudi Arabia thinks we're the hottest country in the world. And again, if the Saudis think you're the hottest country in the world, you're doing something wrong. You do realize that, right? Press your khakis up, you Antifa folks. Right. Yes, that's right. They are Antifa. All of them are anti-fascist, and they're all just secretly doing TRT and working out to try and fit in with the true guys in Patriot Front. But it's a sneak attack, and it's such a sneak attack that even the leader of Patriot Front doesn't realize that every one of his foot soldiers is actually a gender non-conforming Portland teenager with blue hair underneath their mask and hat. Totally going to work out that way. All right, I got to go. I will see you guys later on this afternoon. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. This is Hal Sparks Mornings Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, and hi to Patreon folks who got to watch from Patreon. Fuck out of here. He said, go back inside. Hit the like.
I keep a seat where the light won't reach. Whisper low
so it sounds like peace.
Lay your head, let the ceiling spin. You
don't have to begin again.
I've been here where the air goes thin. Saw what happens when you try
to win.
Better stay where
Thank you guys so much.
Nothing left that you have to prove. I don't push, I pull you close till you forget what you wanted most. It's just the way of the world. Down in the dirt where the flowers bloom. It's just the way of the world. You'll feel the power of an empty room. It's just the way of the world. Just wait a moment and we'll start again. You are the enemy of my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend. Take my hand, feel the current slow. I can show you what I know. Every spark only burns you out.